Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Tuesday, which means we're doing MCU tier list. So it's going to be TV shows and movies. Oh, as you can see, I've already played Secret Invasion. First up is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm going to put this movie in C tier. It was okay. I thought Ghost was cool. Her powers were cool. I personally was never a big fan of the Ant-Man movies, unfortunately. I love Paul Rudd. I think he's a great actor. He's really cool. Those movies never really moved me, but they're still cool. Ant-Man, I'm putting it in the same place. I mean, again, I wouldn't put it in D tier. I don't think they're bad movies. They're just okay. And again, I'll move some of these around when I'm done, but Age of Ultron. Now, Age of Ultron is one of those films that when it first came out, I think I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I remember not even liking Elizabeth Olsen's character, Scarlet Witch. She was somebody that grew on me like years later, obviously. But when this movie first came out, I didn't like it, but rewatching it, I think it's actually not that bad. I think the plot is all right. The special effects aren't too bad. They hold up. And it's just a fun movie, bro. I feel like a lot of the Avengers movies are not like good versus bad. It's more so like, did you have fun while watching it? And I had a lot of fun watching Avengers Age of Ultron. So my baby, Infinity War, I got to put it in S tier. That and Endgame are obviously two of like the best Marvel movies. And I know some people like Infinity War more than Endgame or Endgame more than Infinity War. I'm a type of person where I think I like Infinity War more than Endgame as like a complete film. I just think it's a little bit better packaging wise. Captain Marvel. Now, before I gotta see, oh my God, Brie Larson, I love Brie Larson. Okay, that's my. Is she married? I don't know, but if she wasn't, I'd be on that for real. This movie, oh man, I hate putting this in D tier. Only reason why I put it here, bro, is because of, let me think, where is this movie? This movie right here, Thor Ragnarok. Now someone's gonna go, Thor Ragnarok, what's it got to do with Captain Marvel? Coming off of a film like that got so much praise for how good it looked, how funny it was, X, Y, and Z. When you get a movie like Captain Marvel that doesn't have a lot of style to it, I felt like Ragnarok was shifting the MCU in a direction of like, hey, let's have some more fun with our films. Same thing as like Guardians with James Gunn. Like films that look good, have fun plots, but also just aren't bland. I felt like Captain Marvel was a super bland looking movie. I feel like because Captain Marvel is still figuring herself out in that film, she's very bland. And again, I don't think that's a Brie Larson thing. I think that's a director thing. It's also a script thing. But again, this is no hate to Brie Larson. I think she's great. I just didn't like the film. Woo! Okay. That is my favorite Captain America movie. It's so freaking good. The action, I rewatch it all the time because the choreography is really good. The music sticks with your boy a little bit. This is a movie that I think really was like not peak, but prime MCU. I really miss it. I will always love Chris Evans, Captain America. He just brought something to the character that I just thought was like so cool. Chris Evans is just a dope ass actor. And yes, he has passed the torch on to my boy, Sam Wilson, aka Anthony Mackie. That film is, I guess I would say probably my favorite portrayal of Captain America that he has. It's just really good. Now, this movie I actually have not seen since I watched it for the first time as like a kid. Didn't really stick with me a whole lot. There's beats from it that I remember being pretty good. It feels bad to put it in C tier. If I put it in C tier, I'm going to put it at the top, like way ahead of the Ant-Man movies. I might put it in low B later, but just as I remember it, it wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't move me. And that's kind of what the lower tiers are for. Like Captain Marvel, not a bad film, just didn't move me. Civil War. Bro, some people really did not like Civil War. I couldn't understand why. I thought that movie was freaking great. Black Panther was amazing in there. The action's great. The only thing I would say about this movie, I'm going to give it the same knock I gave Captain Marvel, which is probably why it's not in S tier. It's a very bland looking movie. Visually, it's not that appealing. When I was in high school, actually, like for a directing class, I did a presentation on Marvel movies. I was talking about the music and how great it was, but I remember talking about how the visuals were just lacking. Like there's the airport sequence. The music in that sequence is so great. I'm pretty sure that's Henry Jackman. He's a fucking great composer. But the freaking shot that I'm looking at just doesn't match up. And I know it's the MCU, but at the same time, it's like, just because it's the MCU, these are still comic books. Stuff can be realistic, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. You know what I mean? Because if you look at something like the first Avengers, I watched that again in like 2019. And it was one of those things where seeing the first Avengers, bro, that is like a Saturday morning cartoon. The colors of everything from the suits to the characters like the Hulk, it's so freaking vibrant. It doesn't even look real. It's just wild. And so while yes, some of that stuff is cheesy, and I know that Civil War is a little bit of a heavier movie topic wise, you can still punch up the saturation or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. For me, it was just very bland. But other than that, I really enjoyed the movie, which is why I have an A tier. It's great. If you weren't Team Cap, you have poor media literacy. Doctor Strange. This is a movie that I didn't actually see in theaters, I'm pretty sure. I saw it at home on Netflix on my laptop before rewatching it on the TV later. Decent film. I'm a big fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. Around that time, he was really popping off career-wise. The movie was good. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it moved me in some crazy way. The visuals were really what like is keeping it in B tier for me. I don't know if I remember the music necessarily. The villain, it was all right. I forget the actor's name. He's always got his eye messed up in every project he's in. But, you know, it was all right. It was all right. Do I like it? Yes. Did I like Multiverse of Madness more? We'll find out. Avengers Endgame. I gotta put it in S tier because the thing with Marvel movies is like, yes, they're films, so they should be seen as good or bad, I guess. But like, bro, it was Scorsese that said it. They are theme park movies. I'm actually like, he's right. As the years have gone on, I hated him for that, but he was right. Like, these are spectacle films. Bro, when I was in the theater, I'm not being like, I was the only person that saw this. But the minute that hammer moved in Endgame, I almost stood up out of my seat because I knew exactly what it meant. I said, oh my God, no, they did it. Theater, dead silent. And then we see my boy Cap. And the freaking roar of that crowd, bro. Stop it. I literally had an old lady next to me. I think she was going to see it with her son. Like he was an older dude. Anyways. And in that moment, I was like, I don't want to yell, but fuck it, I got to. I've been waiting years for this. And I was just so hyped. And it's like, you don't get that with like a regular movie. You do have to admit that with these Marvel movies comes some form of spectacle, which is why I do harp on them when visually there is no spectacle, like colors wise. But it's one of those things where Endgame, you know, I do have to give it, I guess not just nostalgia points, but like it knew how to button a multi-film franchise in a way that we've never seen before. And that's cool. Now, yes, we have projects that come later that do taint certain aspects of that film, like Secret Invasion, but we didn't know about that shit when we were first seeing it. And I gotta say, that movie hit. It hit like crazy. I mean, that was back in the day when I used to go see a movie 2 or 3 times. I think that's an Endgame 2 or 3 times. Like, it was just that good. It was such a great film. Guardians of the Galaxy. I did not see this movie in theaters. I literally got this off of Redbox, rest in peace, with my mom, and we watched it. Great movie. I wanted to know what all the hype was about because they were calling this the best Marvel movie, all that when it came out. And I was like, I don't know about that. And I saw it and I did really enjoy it. I think I would have liked it way more if I had seen it in theaters. But I do think it is a great freaking film, especially something being in the MCU that is apart from all the Avengers stuff. It's more cosmic, more celestial focus. I thought that was really cool. Great soundtrack. James Gunn is obviously a phenomenal director. Very excited for Superman. Bro just cooked. Now we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now I know someone's gonna say, Charles, didn't you just say he cooked? Why are you putting that in? I thought this movie was good, but I don't think it was great. I didn't think it was the first movie for me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's just me. Movies that take place in one spot for too long, I don't know why. I'm not always the biggest fan of that. I know that might sound crazy. Again, it's my tier list. I'm not saying the movie's bad, but I guess those are movies that just happen in like a very short time span or whatever. I like to travel. I like when movies travel around a bit. But I don't know. The movie was cool. Ego was a cool villain. You know, he had some moments. There's that moment when he reveals that, you know, he put that freaking tumor in Quill's mom's head. That was crazy. But I remember that movie sticking with me too much. We did get Mantis in that, which was really freaking cool. But yeah, again, I don't hate it. I might actually move it up and say it was better than Age of Ultron. I lied. I'm not doing that. But it was still really good. It was still really good. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Spider-Man Far From Home. This is another film that I don't understand why people did not like. And I can't say people as in everybody, but you know, the loud few. I hear people complain about this movie quite often, and I'm very confused as to why. I'm putting this above Guardians for me. I fucking love this movie, bro. If you want to talk about style, bro, I saw this movie twice, and the first time I saw it, the minute that Mysterio sequence happened, bro, I was literally blown away because in my mind, the MCU wasn't capable of something like that. While it seems simple, that's an artistically risky scene to like pull off. And it was very cool. It wasn't cringy. It was like dope. It was like just something that I wasn't expecting out of a Spider-Man movie or a Marvel movie alone. And it was really freaking cool. I don't even know who directed that. I guess it was probably John Watts still, yeah. Mysterio was a great villain for me. I really enjoyed him. Tom, he got a little beefy for that role. Really enjoyed him. I like Zendaya more in this movie. I didn't really like her too much in the first one. I think Zendaya's a great actor. I do not like MJ character. Not that I think she's a bad character. I don't know if it's writing or how she's directed. To me, she sometimes comes off as cringy. It's just in certain moments where I'm just like, but then I go watch Zendaya in Euphoria and I'm like, no, she can act. So I don't know what, like, I just don't know. So that's when I have to throw it to like a writer or a director and just say, I just don't think it works. But that was cool. The scroll thing, you know, with Nick Fury and what's her name, you know, whatever. But I still enjoyed that film. That was really cool. Happy was great in that. And yeah, so it was a really great Spider-Man film. No, it wasn't grounded in terms of being like a New York film, but your boy still liked it. Now we're actually coming up on our first have not seen. This is a movie that maybe I saw when I was so young or whatever. I don't think so though. I've seen clips. I don't think I've ever actually seen this film. I played the game on PS2 back in the day, but I never watched this. And then obviously when I realized they were connected to, it's the same Hulk technically as Mark Ruffalo's, I was like, why am I watching this movie? He's not in it. And I could have, but at that point, I felt like there weren't too many ties from that film to our MCU today, so I just didn't really care. I will watch it later, probably. If I don't, I've seen all the fights and stuff, so I'm like, I'm cool. I just watched Brave New World literally today for this, so I'll be alright. Original Iron Man. Now, you know what? If we're going, I can't say nostalgia bait, but if we're just going like a complete film, not thinking about everything else that came after, obviously. It was a really great movie. Wait, is this? Oh, this is Iron Man 2. Oh, wait. This is Iron Man 2. You know what's funny? I'm actually gonna put Iron Man 2 on B tier. I know people are gonna be like, what the fuck? This guy liked Iron Man 2? Whole list is ruined. I actually do really like this movie. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B tier. This was a movie that as a kid, I used to watch all the time. You know when you could buy movies from Redbox? My mom bought this movie and I used to watch it just like crazy. The fight between War Machine and Tony, I ate that up all the time, bro. Daft Punk playing in the background. That's a dope sequence. Whiplash, wasn't it some crazy villain? Like, he was all right. He was cool. We got the freaking, you want to talk about spectacle? There's the moment at the freaking, what is it, Starkfest or whatever, where all the freaking drones and stuff are flying around, the Hammer Tech drones. It was just a fun movie. Only thing I don't like about that movie, which I'm not taking points off for, obviously, I'm never a big fan of giving people what they want. Huh? Is that crazy to say? When they confirmed that was actually Tom Holland, Spider-Man, was the kid in the Iron Man. Feige. What? Shut up. Like, every time I watch that movie, I think about that, and I'm like, oh my god. Some things can just be fun fan theories. But, like, I thought that was so dumb. Does it matter? No, but I just thought it was so dumb. Iron Man 3. I think I watched this a little bit fucked up recently, like a couple years ago. And this was a fun movie. I would put it... I'm going to put this below Iron Man 2, simply for the fact that if we want to talk about villains, I don't fuck with how they did my boy the Mandarin, bro. I didn't like the fact that it was... And I love the actor. I forget his name. Ben Kingsley, I'm pretty sure. I didn't like that he was like some fake bad guy or whatever. It was funny, cool, but I was like, what the... I grew up on the Iron Man Armored Adventure series, which I'm sure isn't even like some crazy accurate interpretation of the Mandarin, but I knew that the Mandarin meant business. And so it was one of those things where when that happened, I was like, wait, what the fuck? He's a nobody? And then he turned out to be some random white guy, and I was like, okay. Killian, cool villain, not the Mandarin. It just, for me, it didn't work. It just really didn't work. I really enjoyed that tan and red suit in that film. So freaking cool, bro. I love that. I'm pretty sure it was Mark 42. I know it kept breaking apart and stuff. It was really dope. I really enjoyed it. But for me, if you don't have a strong enough villain, movie can't work. Like, if you don't have a convincing villain. But it's like, when you throw in a title for like fan appeal or whatever, or just to get butts and seats, that don't work for me. All right, I'm put the original Iron Man right here in A tier. I talked about it a little bit when I thought this was the first one. Good movie. Solid movie. It actually, I did. This was one of the last MCU movies I watched in terms of like out of all the ones that came out. I think I saw this one like 3 years ago. Not 3 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago for the first time. I'm getting old, y'all. And I really enjoyed it. I used to play the game on like my PSP or my PS2 back in the day, but it's fun. It's crazy how real and heavy everything feels because I know some stuff is done practically, but it's just a great movie. Villain Obadiah, he was alright. I don't remember like loving him or anything when I was watching it, but it was alright. It was alright. It was a fun movie. Next up, we have Black Panther. This was a movie that genuinely I really enjoyed watching the first time. And then every time I watch it after, I always look at that freaking train sequence. And I just think if they had more money in the film, obviously that would look better. It's just some of the CG stuff wasn't great. But I thought the movie as a whole, boy, you couldn't tell me no when that movie came out. I wanted those, what are they called? Akomo or whatever, Akoyo beads. I don't even remember, bro. I just love the film. It's one of those things where it's like black movies or movies with a lot of culture in them. Whether it's like, let me think, Cross the Spider-Verse or Black Panther or Shang-Chi. I was like, what am I thinking? I'm trying to think of another culture that ain't just black, that it just adds to the film so much and just it gives it such a rich quality that sometimes regular ass films just do not have. When I say regular, I just mean like, you know, boring ass white movies. Just dope. It was a woke ass movie and I loved every bit of it. Next we have Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people shit on this movie. I think some of y'all just ain't got good taste. I'm gonna say it right now. Some of y'all ain't got good taste. This was a fun movie, bro. When the freaking Vulture reveal happened in the theater, bro, stop it. That was one of the few times I've seen a movie and I actually heard people gasp like, what? Like that was crazy. And that was a good twist. That's a really good twist. It's just a fun movie. It's like it's our first time seeing seeing Tom Holland get to do his thing by himself. RDJ had 2 minutes of screen time. Yes, he had a presence in the film, but he was barely in it. I just really enjoyed it. I wish we did get to see more of Tom doing street level stuff, but I'm not one of those spider people that's like, he barely swings in his movies. I don't care. People want to talk about the Raimi films. Guess what? You can always go back and watch those. And I know y'all do. I know y'all watch them like once a day, twice a week. That's great. You got those. Would I like it if he interacted with his city a bit more and stayed in New York? Yes. But it's like, unfortunately, we're dealing with, I can't say a comic accurate Spidey, but I'll say comic accurate in terms of having to deal with so many like crazy international intergalactic threats. So they got to call, bro, and they got to pull him out. We probably would have seen the same thing with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man if, again, it wasn't just him in his universe. Thor. Now, I don't hate OG Thor like how he was before Ragnarok. I thought it was fun. I got to put this movie in C tier. I think I enjoyed Ant-Man more than I enjoyed Thor. I don't even know. This movie is kind of forgettable. It did have a little bit of style to it. I'll put it right here. How about this? It did have some style to it. The Frost Giants. Just Asgard in general was very beautiful. It was really cool to see that. But the movie, meh. The one thing that I did enjoy, which I'm a big fan of in films, superhero films specifically, bro, crossover. I don't care if we get a superhero that is from another movie in your film for 1 minute. Do it. I love that. That's how the original cartoons used to be. You used to just drop people in for fun. No explanation, nothing. When we got Hawkeye and Thor, when he was trying to like lift the hammer, I thought that was so freaking cool. I just really enjoy stuff like that. And I wish the MCU did more of that. But of course, in the age of the movie star, can't really do that because people are super expensive. I don't even want to think about how much they had to pay RDJ just to be in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, roughly give or take, for Homecoming. Like, no, there's no way. This is Thor. Is this The Dark World? Is that what that was called? I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it here. Again, fun movie. Nothing crazy. It's like one of those movies where visually I watched it and it did enjoy it. I feel like this was another movie that was a little gray, a little toned down and gray, but seeing the stuff with the ether, was that what it was called, was really cool. And like the different worlds and stuff coming in on each other, I thought that was interesting in the third act. But this movie, I've rewatched it like once or twice over the years to just remember that I don't love it, but it's not horrible. Like if you put that on, I'm not going to be, oh fuck, I got to watch this. But if you put on like Ant-Man, I'm going to be like, turn that shit off. No shade, no shade, no shade. Thor Ragnarok. I gotta put you here. Now, where would I put Thor Ragnarok? Would I put this? I'm gonna be honest. I might put this here at the top of S tier if I can. I'll put this at the top of S tier. I think it is one of the best Marvel movies to date. I'm not going to say it is the best, but I would comfortably say it's top 5. For sure, it's top 5. Like, this literally shaped the way people thought about Marvel movies. And it kind of got people to ease off a little bit, I felt like, in terms of like being super critical of them. It was funny, visually breathtaking, freaking music was great. It just understood what it was and what it didn't want to be perceived as. And I thought it was great. Hela was a great freaking villain. Hulk in that movie, like, it was just so great. We were literally seeing sides of characters we've never seen before. Like, the Hulk actually got to do stuff in that movie, and freaking Mark Ruffalo too. Like, I don't know, the chemistry of that film just was great. Even what's her name? Valkyrie, I forget, Tessa Thompson. She was eating that up too. Like, everybody was just so great. OG Avengers. Gotta put it in S tier. This ain't even nostalgia, y'all. This ain't even nostalgia. You know what it is, nostalgia. But it should be. It's good nostalgia. Great movie. I talked about it earlier. It's got the style. It was just such a freaking fun film. And you can rewatch it whenever, and I feel like it still holds up. Just got a good vibe to it. And it literally is like a Saturday morning cartoon in the sense that you finally get to have all these characters interact with each other for the first time, and they are just riffing off of one another in a way we've not seen in a superhero movie. And it was just great. I mean, I remember going to see that movie. I think I saw it probably 4 times in the theater on like different states with family and all kinds of stuff. Like, that movie was a spectacle. And it was just great. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it set up all of this, which is, you know, phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, not that I wanted them to, obviously, but if they had ended with that film, it would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like, we still got a very peak experience. Oh man, okay. Secret Invasion. I wish I could put this here. I wish I could put this here. I don't even want this touching Captain Marvel. It actually makes me want to move Captain Marvel up or create a new tier because I'm putting it here. I hate that I have to say this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And I actually hate when people say stuff like that because it's like, come on, bro, you exaggerate. No. Secret Invasion is one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life. One of the worst pieces of media I've ever seen in my life. And it breaks my heart because I love all the people involved in that show. Actor-wise, I really enjoy them. It's like the sad Krabby Patty that Squidward bites into or someone bites into that's like gray. That's what it is. Because this show had the potential to just be very interesting and like crazy. Secret Invasion in the comics is freaking nuts. And while yes, there was a reveal in that show that was like, oh, what the fuck? But like, they killed like she was nothing, bro. That was crazy. That was crazy. I don't know if that was the first episode, but when it happened, I was like, ain't no way she went out like that. I was like, wait, really? Well, she's gonna be a Skrull. They're gonna do that a lot in the show. She's dead. Stop it. Stop it. Just didn't freaking enjoy it. Sam, I love Sam Jackson. I think he was great. I think everybody played their part. Just the fucking writing. We got one of the strongest characters, I can't say in comic books, but like in the MCU now. And I don't even think she's canon. Like, she's a super Skrull, but she's not the super Skrull that like inherits the powers of the Fantastic Four or whatever. And again, maybe someone's gonna prove me wrong. I'm not a cop. But the way they were like, oh yeah, instead of giving her like 5-6 powers, we're gonna give her everything. I was like, you can't do that. The difference is Marvel is not DC. Marvel has street level characters and there are some gods. The MCU had barely just started introducing characters that were like on that level. And even still, some of them are getting rocked by Thanos. After putting up a good fight, but you know what I mean? None of them are like Superman. That's my point. We just got Sentry. I'm about to cut to the end of the video. I have not seen Thunderbolts yet. Sorry. But like, we just got Sentry. He's cracked. He would probably be able to take this girl out, but like, she's got Captain Marvel, all the people from Thanos' crew. She's got Groot. She's got, bro, we're lucky she didn't like freaking get the powers of the Eternals or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she is so freaking strong for no reason. Like, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Because the same way people are like, where was Captain Marvel when this was happening? People are gonna be saying that same shit about her. Like, it just, I don't know. Bad show. Green sometimes, but just not very good. I really like the actor. I think his name's Ben something too. The black dude, he was in Barbie. I really enjoyed his character, but again, they killed him off, and I feel like he could have done so much more stuff. It wasn't good. Now, we have a surprise upset. WandaVision is on this list, and I know people are going to go, Charles, obviously this is a top tier above. Here's what I'm going to say about WandaVision. If you watch WandaVision start to finish, I ain't talking about that weekly drop or whatever stuff. I watched it weekly when it was coming out. That show was a hype fest, and not in a good way. I genuinely liked the idea of that show when it came out. It checks all my buttons. Music, visually stunning. Even though I said music, the music didn't really stick with my brain, but whatever. But visually, it was beautiful. It's one of the best looking MCU projects to date. They did their thing with that one. But when you watch the show, it's just kind of like, what's going on here? And not in a way that I'm like, the MCU does this thing with their TV shows they don't really do with their movies, where they edge you. I hate to say that, but they literally edge you to be like, hey, don't you want to watch next week? Don't you want to watch next week? You know, that theory you're thinking about could come true. I might bait you a little bit. I might tickle your balls and make you think, and then nothing happens. And it's fucking weird. It's weird because when that stuff happens, you actually rob shows of like being good because they aren't allowed to be their own entity. It's a trailer. I'm watching trailers. You know what I mean? Like that Mephisto shit, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my God, bro. The internet was the most insufferable it probably ever was when WandaVision was coming out because everyone had a theory about what was going on, how it was gonna be revealed, whatever. I don't even care that Agatha was the villain. That was cool. My issue is shows can give you the dramatic irony of knowing who the villain is in episode 1 or 2, and it's still not take away from how good the show is. Newsflash, a lot of projects do that. A lot of projects, you actually know what the fuck is going on when you're watching them. But a lot of times the MCU wants to keep you in the dark. It almost feels like because they don't trust their own like storytelling ability to not have to egg you on to keep you coming back. It's like they thought if they revealed Agatha being the villain by episode 2 or 3, people were going to go, it ain't Mephisto? Well, I'm not watching. And I'm sorry, but people would have still watched. It's just, I'm trying to remember what the other like, bro, Hawkeye. I personally loved Hawkeye as a show. I'm going to talk about that later. I really enjoyed that show because not every single episode had that like ending on an up where it's like, oh, come back. Oh, and we'll show you this thing. But it did have its moments when it was like that. I think like Kingpin, something happened in like episode 5 or 6. I don't even remember how long that show was. Where I was just kind of like, why are you edging me? Why are you doing that? Like, it's so annoying. And someone goes, well, they're doing it so you come back. Okay, they are allowed to do that, but that doesn't make it a good choice. That's my point. You can set up your TV show to be a hype fest, literally have an entire episode dedicated to be a fucking recap. That's not normal. That is literally not normal. And I'm not saying that the, what's her name? Monica Rambeau. Look, I love, what's her name? I love the actress that plays her. She's really freaking cool. There's a way to, I don't know, tell her story that isn't a recap. Are there other shows that do recap episodes in the MCU? I'm trying to remember, bro. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know why. I could be wrong. Someone could give me in the comments. I don't know why I feel like I watched another MCU project that had a recap on episode 3 or something. I just wasn't a fan of that. I don't know if they did it once or twice in this show specifically then or something, but like, I don't need you to give me an entire episode dedicated to shit I've already seen 3 weeks ago. You can drop that episode at the same time you drop something else, but like, that doesn't work for me. Anyways, WandaVision, great show on paper, but I just wish they would approach TV in a normal way. Or if you're going to do it differently, make it have an impact. Sorry. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hey, Mom. I know you're watching right now. I unfortunately am putting this in C tier. This is one of those shows that really got messed up by COVID. They changed, if I remember correctly, they changed what the original plot was because of COVID. I'm not trying to be insensitive. As someone that played The Last of Us Part 2 when COVID was happening, personally, I don't feel like, I don't know. I get wanting to protect people. I'm not trying to be like, people are too sensitive. I'm not trying to be like that. I get it. We have literally never lived through a pandemic as a people before, besides, like, I mean, our generation, right? But it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I don't think them keeping the original plot line would have been so, like, triggering. Personally, I don't think that. But you know what? Shout out to Marvel for making the change. If they did genuinely think that whatever they had, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't get to watch it. Shout out to them for, you know, making the change, making that decision. But I do think that it robbed the show of being good. It felt very, like, okay. Some things with this show too that kind of got me were like, the MCU has a half-baked way of going a step further when it comes to like violence and stuff. The John Walker scene, I'm sorry. Yes, I do not think John Walker is a good person. Like, I don't really fuck with that nigga, sorry. But that sequence didn't hit for me. When I watched it, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm like, it looks like he's like banging that nigga chest. And I'm not even really seeing the force and emphasis. Like the way that scene was directed for me didn't actually leave me feeling like, God, what is he doing? I more so was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's fucked up. He's a bad guy, but you know what I mean? As somebody that watches like John Wick, I'm not saying I need a John Wick level death, but like, bro, give me a better angle or something. You know what I mean? Like, make that episode TV mature or something. But I'm like, I don't know. There are ways to show or simulate violence without actually showing it that make it more impactful. Like, bro, they could have done a shot behind the freaking fountain or something, and I see him going full force at a dummy, even if the guy's not there, just so that I can really get the emphasis. But like, the way he was just slamming the shield for me, it felt like there was no real force behind it, so it didn't really hit. I didn't really care. Other than that, cool show. I love the dynamic between I just remember something, y'all. I love the dynamic between Falcon and the Winter Soldier in that show. Black Falcon. Woo! Lord Jesus. Nothing pissed me off more than the fuck ass Black Falcon storyline, bro. Maybe I understood it wrong, but there is no fathomable way that in a world where a fucking high schooler knows who Doctor Strange is, they're gonna look at Falcon and go, I'm gonna give him a new name. That's Black Falcon. And everybody just thinks that's bro's name. That man was on the news. Was he not during Civil War? Like, people would have known who Falcon was. You know what I mean? It felt so weird, because I'm trying to remember, this is post-Endgame. Yeah, it's post-Endgame. It felt so weird. People were like, oh, no, man, they're going to call him Black Falcon because he black. And it's like, bro, it's the most forced narrative. If that was happening in our actual world, and Disney was trying to make a statement being like, you guys are not going to call him Black Falcon. You guys need to call him Falcon. Actually, need to call him Captain America. Then I get it. But they literally created a fucking problem where there was not one. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's calling him Black Falcon in real life. So where did this even come from? Like, it was just so weird for me. And again, if I missed the point, type of comment, I can prove, I don't mind being wrong. But when I saw that, I was just like, who was this for? Who was this for? I just didn't believe that anybody in the MCU would genuinely think his name was Black Falcon. It just seemed weird. It seemed weird. And I know a black dude wrote that, but that doesn't make that shit any less fucking weird. I'm sorry. It was a bad choice. Loki. All right, let's get out of the low C tier. Let's go A tier. I really enjoyed Loki. I've only seen the first season of Loki, but I'm not going to put it in not seen. I'm going to say that I really enjoyed the first season. I don't think personally they would have dropped the ball that much on the second season. I've seen the shot of him becoming the Loki, what is it, Loki of Stories or whatever the frick? Or something from the comics that I have seen. But I really enjoyed it. Stylistically, one of the MCU's best projects. You could probably convince me to put it in S tier later. Also, as a TV show, it knew how to have buttons. People don't understand, bro, when it comes to like fucking theater or film or improv or like sketch comedy, whatever, a solid button is so important. Like, it's closure. It's like, oh, I just watched like 30 minutes of a TV show and you know what? Cool. I can go about my day. I don't need something to be a cliffhanger every episode. Especially a cliffhanger that didn't even pay off in the next episode. And you set me up with something different I wasn't even thinking of. I hate that. I'm talking about you. But Loki barely did that. And if it did do it, it did it effectively. Like, I wasn't like stressed or upset watching that show, being like, damn, why would they even end it on that note? It was a good show. I'm going in A tier. Shang-Chi. Now, Shang-Chi, I only watched one time, but I really enjoyed it when I did see it. I don't think it was a perfect movie by any means, But I did enjoy. I'm trying to think of. Ooh, yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I started moving up the list and was like, I don't think it's above these, but I would put it here. I think it definitely belongs to be it definitely belongs in A tier. Solid movie. Visuals were great. Simu Liu, he did his thing in that movie. The combat was so great. The Mandarin sequence at the end. Everyone knows these movies, the most important part in them always is like the third act. I will say the third act of that film just like is great. Genuinely, I kind of want to watch it like now. It's because visually it stuck with me like crazy. Black Widow. I'm gonna tell you right now, Black Widow is a movie that when I first saw it in theaters, bro, the opening, I was like, hold on, this is tough. I genuinely stand by the fact the first 21 minutes of that movie, I think it is, I've timed it before, are like some of my favorite like stuff I've seen in a Marvel movie ever. Because it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. Like the shots from that film, when she's like in her car or just like in the grass or whatever, and even when she's like driving the bridge before Taskmaster gets her or whatever, it looked great and it felt different. One thing I didn't like in the very beginning was like the Nirvana cover or whatever. I thought that was a little cheesy, but other than that, I was like, this looks like a different project. It wasn't until we get to the Alexei base, like where he's in prison. From that point on, the movie falls apart for me. That's when the movie genuinely feels like a Marvel movie and didn't feel as good. And I just was kind of like, one, you don't care because the movie came out too late. She's already dead. We know she's dead. And two, I just felt like there was so much CG in moments I didn't even think it needed. There's a moment in the movie where she's fighting Taskmaster at the very end. And what happens is like, she's crawling around his body or something, or her body or something like that. But like they enhance it with CG to make her move quicker or whatever. But it just felt like a normal movement that like Scarlett Johansson or any of her like people could have done. And I was like, what are we even doing at this point? Or yeah, I thought the beginning was really cool, different stylistically, but I've been talking this whole time. I didn't even put it nowhere. I'm sorry, guys. I'll put it in C tier. Just simply for the first 20 minutes alone, I'll put it in C tier. I'll put it in C tier. But see, I hate putting movies like this next to these because it makes it seem like really you think Ant-Man's at this level. I don't. I think Ant-Man's a better film, but still, I gotta do it. What if I didn't give a fuck? I don't really care about What If. I'm gonna be so real with you. I think it's okay. They are all right, but like, I'll put them in C tier. I don't know what season that is. I'll just say it's all of them. C tier. I have not seen the last season. I think I saw the first two. They just do what ifs on stuff I don't really care about. And even the stuff I do care about, like, bro, Sharon Carter is more Captain America than fucking Anthony Mackie, it felt like, for the past like 3-4 years. The way they were pushing her to the forefront, and she's fucking British. It was crazy. Like, they marketed her so much more than they marketed Sam. And it was kind of weird, I felt like. Maybe someone could be like, oh, that's not true. Nah, bro. They were forcing Sharon Carter down my throat. And she was okay. But I wasn't rocking with it. Hawkeye. People are going to think that I am freaking crazy for this, bro. Okay. It's kind of hard now that I'm seeing Iron Man there as an end cap. I feel like I have to move it up, or else if I put anything above Iron Man, they're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I would put, here's my tier list, bro. It's my tier list. I'm put it right here. I'll put it right here. And I got to put this here because they're going to beat me up. I don't want to get beat up. I really liked Hawkeye. Stylistically, I thought it was great. I think it came out in December. It was a Christmas show, right? Yeah. I watched it with my mom. Thought it was fun. Again, it did have some cliffhanger moments. I have not seen Daredevil Born Again. I'm about to start that probably tomorrow or tonight. Why? I don't mind changes. I don't mind taking like creative liberties or whatever. How do you take Vincent D'Onofrio and his performance and the 3 seasons of literal gold you have as source material for his portrayal of Kingpin, and then you put him in Hawkeye and you go, give that man a fedora, and he turned into a goofball? Not completely, but he lost any intimidation he had in a matter of like minutes, and it was crazy. It was so I literally could not believe it, bro. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited for him to be in the show, and then I was like, oh, maybe I didn't need that. I just wish they had, I don't know. I'm sure they fixed it in Born Again, but I hated that, bro. I hated that. Eternals. I'm gonna say right now, the Eternals hate kind of crazy. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I don't think it's bad. I rewatched it recently. What are my gripes with Eternals? Can it be a little slow? Yeah. It's one of the longer MCU movies. I could not tell you at the end of that film that I didn't want an Eternals 2. I genuinely really wanted that film. I thought that the use of their powers and like the way it looked on screen was super freaking cool. It was different. And it would have been fun to have like another Guardians of the Galaxy in the sense of like another project where it's not Avengers focused. They're off doing their own thing. I thought that was really freaking cool. We'll probably never get that, even though Brave New World did touch on the Celestial and the ocean. That nigga Arisham got them. They're never coming back, bro. They're with Blade. They're with Blade in space somewhere, and we're literally never going to see them again. That's the funny thing about Eternals. Everybody in that freaking film, they don't have to put them anywhere, and it's fine. The MCU will be okay. And that's crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. And the thing is, all these movies, like the longer people wait, the bigger stars some people become, the more expensive they get, the less time they have. And you can't, bro, Harry Styles might be like, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to be Eros? I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about that stuff. I don't know who's in contract and who's not, but yeah. Anyways, Eternals, I thought was fun. Pretty movie. My issue with Eternals, the villain. So freaking forgettable, it's not even funny. Arsham as a villain was cool. But the fact that they made that freaking... What are they even called? I don't even know. The talking... I'm going to call it the lion dog. I don't even... The little alien dogs. They had him become like a super version that was sentient or whatever. He was so forgettable. I don't even know bro's name. He was so forgettable. And it just felt like they could have only had Icarus be the villain. Icarus and Arsham. And I would have been okay with that. Because it felt like a loose end they had to tie up when Thena was fighting that guy. Nah. It didn't work for me. Like, if I were changing that script, I would just have it where, like, Icarus could have commanded those things or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe that's bad, too. My point is, they added nothing. At the very end of the movie, they added nothing. Like, that monster did not need to be there. Okay, this is Spider-Man 2. Now, the Raimi trilogy, I haven't seen since I was a kid. I know they're very good. I'm going to give these points on style alone. Raimi took risks with his films back in the day. I'm going to put Spider-Man 2 here. I know it's one of the best superhero movies of all time. So I'm just gonna be quick with these. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, you're not glazing the Raimi movies." I just don't remember them like that. I don't, but I know they're good. So look, I'm giving them A tier because I'm respecting them. Spider-Man 3 was actually the movie I remember the most. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. I love that movie. I'm gonna put it top of B tier. It's gonna move. I'm gonna put it bottom of B tier. It's fun. Is it great? No, but it's fun. I really enjoyed that movie. Cringy moments, sure, but yeah. I've not seen Amazing Spider-Man 2. I knew Gwen Stacy was going to die, but I've seen that scene so many times that I just never got interested in watching it. I'll watch it one day, though. I'm sure it's great. I'm going to be honest, I was one of Andrew Garfield's supporters, bro, before everybody suddenly was like, oh, I've always liked Andrew Garfield. No, y'all didn't, bro. Y'all shat on that nigga, bro. Y'all did not like him. Where would I put this movie? I wouldn't put it above Homecoming. Sorry, I really wouldn't. I don't even really think I put it above Shang-Chi, if I'm being honest with you. It was good. Do I put it in B tier? I'm gonna put it here. Thought it was a really good movie, but I'm like, I could put it above some of these. I wouldn't necessarily put it above. I put it above Eternals for sure. Fun movie. Andrew Garfield's a fucking amazing Spider-Man. I didn't even mean to do that. I just wish that we got to see him more. I enjoyed him in, Tom's third movie, but I just felt like, bro, so underutilized. I wish Sony had built their own Spider-Man universe while Marvel was doing their thing, because he was such a freaking gem to watch on screen, bro. Okay, wait, am I confused? Oh, guys, okay, I saw the Doc Ock arms and thought it was this movie. So this is the original Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man 2. I know this because this is the sun and all that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. This is where the actual whoa. I'm putting No Way Home. They gonna hate me for this. I can't put it top of C tier. I think it is for me personally. I think No Way Home is a C tier movie, and I'll explain why. Someone's gonna go, No. Everyone switched up on that movie. They loved it when it came out. And then after the fact, people started switching up saying they hated it. When I saw No Way Home, right, I knew that they were going to be in it. We all knew they were going to be in it. When I left the theater after seeing that movie, I genuinely was talking to my friends and I was like, I don't know if I like that movie. Like, what? I was like, I got everything I wanted, per se. Like, you know, it was the cameos and all that stuff. But I was like, it didn't really feel like a movie to me. Like, it didn't feel like a real movie. And I genuinely stand by that. Not saying it's not a film. Just when I was watching it, I was like, it's good in terms of packaging, I guess. Like, it's not bad. But I was like, I had fun with it, right? I'm going back to the MCU stuff. Like, MCU movies can be fun, but not good, whatever. But I was like, it didn't feel like script-wise, there was a whole lot happening. Like, I feel like I can see this entire film in my head in like 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, conceptually, phenomenal. We got all 3 Spider-Man on screen. Great. We got their villains back. That was awesome. It did not move me in the same way that Homecoming or Far From Home did, personally. Thought it was cool, but that is the most theme park ride movie ever. Now, I know people are going to say, what about the Green Goblin stuff? Everyone in that movie is a great actor. Simple as that. Willem Dafoe did his thing. The fight sequence, people are going to go, wasn't that amazing? It was a great, this is going to be crazy. It was a great start. Hear brother out. When it comes to like these characters, especially someone like Spider-Man, think about Batman. Think about when the Batman Ben Affleck scene happened in Batman v Superman. People do not like Batman v Superman, but they could talk about how great that sequence was because that was the closest thing we had ever gotten to Batman like being accurate in terms of like he could actually go into a room and get a bunch of armed dudes, and I believe it, right? For me, there have been very few instances where I feel like we have seen Peter fight people hand to hand, whatever, and it actually feel like we see in like different Spider-Man mediums. I'm gonna bring up the game. Someone's gonna go, what's not a game? It's not. I'm not talking about drones and all that stuff. I'm just talking about fluid movement. Like, there's the moment where they're fighting. I liked him flying through the levels and stuff. I thought that was interesting, but like some of it felt a bit clunky for me choreography wise. Not being like, oh, I could do better, X, Y, and Z. I know how hard Tom Holland works as an actor. He's like a little mini Tom Cruise. Bro is doing his thing. I really do appreciate that as a watcher. It's great. You can tell bro is working. But the sequence where he's fighting him at the very end of the movie, that didn't even hit for me. Like when they're fighting and he's like doing the web zip thing, all that stuff was really cool. But it was cool because we had never seen Tom do anything like that. And it was one of those things where it was like, I wish we could have seen him do it years ago. So it could have been that much better in this movie. Because for me, it felt like they were figuring stuff out. They were realizing they could do those types of things with Spider-Man. And to get people off my back a little bit, I want to talk about Raimi, right? When it came to him fighting Doc Ock, those sequences were freaking insane, right? And so my point is, right, when you have seen other Spider-Man in animated things, games, films, really, you know, take advantage of the fact that you are Spider-Man in terms of combat, and I see them starting to do that, but it doesn't feel fully baked, I gotta knock points off for that, personally. I'm glad they took the risk. I think the next Spider-Man movie will be a lot better combat-wise, but I feel like hand-to-hand wise, we only see Peter get down so much with people in a way that, like, I don't know, really moves me. And I felt like this was the closest thing we've gotten to him moving like he does in the games, but even still, close, but not quite. Like, again, some things for me, fluidity-wise, just weren't there. Sorry. Venom. Not seen Venom. Not seen Venom Last Dance. I don't want to lie like I'm a Tom Hardy fan. I think he's cool. I just never want to watch these. For me, I don't know if they're for me personally. They seem okay. I will say The Last Dance did actually look like a fun movie. Even if it wasn't good, it looked fun. But it's not for me. Ding, 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 ding. I love Daredevil, bro. I love Daredevil. I can put it here. I can comfortably put it there. This is the normal one, right? Yeah, it's not Born Again. Daredevil is one of those things that kept me in the MCU. Kept me like hoping, especially with those shows. It kept me on Netflix for real too. I loved it. Season 1, slower, a lot of talking, but there's some action there too. But the acting was so freaking good. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick it out. Season 2, I think that was like the, you know, show that the season not everybody loved. In hindsight, I don't think it was that bad, but I feel like people were kind of hard on it when it came out. Personally, I enjoyed it though. Got to see Elektra. I think that was first appearance of the Punisher, which was really freaking cool. Third season, they broke him, and then he came back. He was born again, some would say, and I thought it was really great. Charlie Cox, freaking phenomenal actor. I just really enjoy watching him work. And obviously this happened after the Defenders, but his chemistry with whoever he's on screen with, bro, is Daredevil. Seeing him in, okay, going back to No Way Home, seeing him in No Way Home, that brick scene, that was so freaking cool. That was fan service, bro. And obviously it was like, if you know, when you were in the theater, because I know some people saw that movie and people didn't react. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was so happy when that happened. That was great. Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a show that, I'm sorry. I'll put it, I don't want to put it beats here. I'm gonna have to get a little harsh here, y'all. I'm gonna have to get a little harsh here. I feel like Moon Knight could have been really cool. Again, my issues with the show, I guess, would have to do with writing and direction. I think that he's a great actor. I personally felt, though, like the blackout sequences were cool to a point, but they got a little tiresome. I just felt like I want to see him actually do these things. And then when we did get to some of the action sequences, they weren't always as cool. Ungodly amounts of CGI. I don't mind it sometimes. I get it. With some of these characters, you really do have to do it. And I get that. But for me, there were just some moments where not even just it didn't look good. I just didn't enjoy how it was like done, how it was portrayed. Layla, I think that was her name. The girl with the wings. I don't know if those were practical. I don't think they were. That was a cool shot. It was really nice. I didn't hate the Khonshu fight at the end. Like, yeah, I know it's a bunch of like computer generated stuff. I don't really care. But for me, the show itself was very okay. I didn't hate it. Again, I love Oscar Isaac. Him and Dune. He's one of my favorite actors to watch on screen. He's a gem. I just didn't love the show. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I've talked a lot about fun, and I do think this was a very fun movie. I'm actually going to put this here at the top of B tier. Excuse me. Shout out Sam Raimi. He did his thing on this one. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I don't really care. I enjoyed it. When I first saw this movie, I was like, what is going on? Wanda, we got to see Wanda doing all kinds of stuff. Like, bro, this is a movie. I talked about Spider-Man, right? Not using their character in a certain way, whatever. This was a movie where everybody was performing at their highest level, powers-wise, character-wise. We're seeing them do stuff where it's like, that's the character I know, bro. That's the character from the comics that, like, I think of when I think of this person. And it was great. The freaking music notes fight between Doctor Strange and... was it another Doctor Strange? I think so. I can't remember. That was so freaking cool. Yeah, Wanda's beats were great. Seeing her as a villain that... You didn't tell me her name was America, did you? Like, bro, what? That was so freaking cool. That movie was just a lot of fun to sit there and watch. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Bro, Wanda taking on the freaking fake Avengers, or no, that was the Illuminati. That was so freaking cool, bro. Like, no, I ate that up. I ate that whole movie up. Sure, the sequence where she kills Charles Xavier isn't the best, but it was just so cool to see a different Earth. My biggest issue with that film, and I think people really, talked about it, I do wish they spent more time in other realities. I get it, though. I understand why that didn't happen, but from the trailers, though, I felt like people thought there was going to be more of that, and there wasn't. It was fine. We got Zombie Strange. That was really cool. I just really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed that film.